Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr. It's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast. And I'm just checking in on you, seeing how your week's going as you're slogging your way through your cubicle life. Something you never wanted, but who are you going to blame? Huh? You going to blame society like all of these people on social networks? Is it ever their fault? Anyways, I have a special guest. As promised on the Monday morning podcast, I said, God damn it, and I delivered. We have the amazing, the unbelievably talented and hilarious Bill Hader, star of the new incredible show on HBO, Barry, starring Henry Winkler, Stephen Root. Where's my cheat sheet? Who's the woman who plays your girlfriend? She crushes it.
Sarah Goldberg.
Oh, my God, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's amazing. And it's 8 incredible episodes.
Thank you.
I saw the first 2. And then my link expired, and then I couldn't get it to play. I got a new link, and then I melted down, and my wife said, "You're bringing tension into the house." So that's been my experience so far. But having said that, I absolutely loved the first 2 that I saw, and there's another the other actor there with the alopecia there, Anthony.
Oh yeah, Anthony Carrigan.
Oh my God, NoHo Hank,
Mm-hmm.
Great name, incredible actor. So. I was actually, just to give people a background, I was going to interview all of you guys at the now defunct Nerd Melt.
Yeah, that's going
because of that incident, I believe.
Yeah, because what happened to me.
Yeah. So you were supposed to come down there with Henry, Stephen, and the other guys, and you have a peanut allergy.
I have a nut allergy, and they gave me. Well, here's the thing. It's my own. I blame myself. So I can have almonds. I'm okay with almonds, but all the nuts I'm bad with. So I go, I'll have coffee, and I go, can I have almond milk in it? And
so it's almost like you're like a racist, but with just like nuts, right?
Just nuts.
Those are the... You stay with your own. You stay with the almonds. All these other ones, get them out of my house. All right? I get it. You're a peanut supremacist. I've never heard of that. I thought if you had like a peanut allergy,
no, that was it.
No,
I found that out on a movie. I had something, and whoa, that has almonds in it, and I had it, and I go, I'm fine. And then I went home and I had an EpiPen and sat there with almonds and ate it, and nothing
What is
happened.
an EpiPen?
That's what you take in case you have
You're doing a stabbing motion into your leg.
Yeah, I do a stabbing motion into your leg. Yeah, you stab yourself with the EpiPen. So
and it takes what? Like your blood pressure?
It shoots you full of adrenaline basically, and then you're able to breathe. It gets a big shot of the.
So when you drank this, so you were supposed to come in, and all of a sudden somebody basically gave the equivalent to you of a cup of poison.
They gave me, almond milk, but it was this fancy coffee place, and they were like, well, we have an almond cashew blend that comes in, I can't have cashews.
Oh.
So I had that, and I took a drink of it backstage, excited about to go on, and I went, I got to go.
Like how quick, when you drink that, how quick do you know? Is it like getting bit by a cobra?
Yeah.
Like you just know. Like, all right, that wasn't good. I need the antidote.
Yeah, you don't get bit by a cobra and go, I'm going to wait.
I can do this
20
podcast.
minutes. I could do the podcast. I'm fine. My leg's all black and blue, and I can't really feel my feet anymore. And but I'm fine.
It was just one fang.
Yeah, I'm fine. And my dad, the biggest bummer is my dad is a giant fan of yours, so my dad was really excited and he flew in because we had the premiere, and so he wanted to see it. And I go, I gotta go, and he was like, "What?"
Oh no!
And he's like, "You're fine." He goes, "You're fine."
Shake it off.
And I go, no. And he's like, you're fine. I go, what? I want to see Bill Burr. And I'm like, well, I gotta go. You can stay here or go. And he's like, I'll go. Let's get you some Benadryl and all that stuff.
Okay, so what happens? Is your throat closes up?
Yeah, and so someone ran out and got me Benadryl, and that was fine. And then I got home, did the EpiPen.
But how bad is, like, how much are you laboring breathing? I mean, you like.
I'm breathing fine. It's just it was in my mouth for only a couple of seconds, and then I spit it out, but it was enough to make everything start to it's like hives inside your mouth and in your throat.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was awful.
So then when you take the Benadryl, how long does it take?
It chills that out, and then you get groggy, and then I did the EpiPen, which then makes you all jacked up, and then I went and did the premiere, and it sucked.
Oh, so you were able to work then that night?
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, it was like HBO was like, we need you.
Yeah. So when you travel, do you have those things with you?
Mm-hmm. I have my backpack out right there. Yeah, and that's the whole reason.
Could I buy one of those?
Yeah, you can go.
You
can
just
get
buy
we got to get
Adrenaline?
prescription.
Oh,
You got to get
okay.
a prescription for it. Yeah.
Because I was going to do that for like the writer's room on F is for Family. When you just get like burned out, like I can't think of any more funny
I'll
shit.
do an EpiPen.
And then just stab yourself.
Yeah, let's just do EpiPens. Yeah. Well, no, it's like this dumb thing, though, when you do it. Everyone thinks but it's just more the motion of it looks more severe than it actually is. It's just like a little pinprick, but it's like buried into this.
Do you go through your pants?
No, you gotta pull your pants down and go right on your leg, and then. But
so you stab it and then you push the thing down.
You push the thing down at the same time. Yeah.
You can't tell me you don't feel a little bit like John Rambo when you do that.
Yeah, no, you totally do. Yeah.
Like you're stitching yourself up. That's awesome.
But I'm such a wimp that I'm, oh good.
Well, I want you to know, you not being there really threw me off my game because I've never hosted one of those before. So it was an honor that I got to do it. And one of my goals was like, I was just like, I am not asking Henry Winkler about playing Arthur Fonzarelli.
Right.
If I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna talk about Night Shift.
I left you with nothing.
And then by the end, I was just like. They were helping me through the interview, and then somehow I just said, I go, I'm running out of stuff, but my goal is I'm not bringing up you-know-who. And then he just broke into the character, just saying, like, that character made me a lot of money and put my kid through college. I can't do the fonts, but I was all excited, like, oh, my God, he did the fonts.
Oh, when he does it, it's like Mickey Mouse showing. John Mulaney said it's like Mickey Mouse showing up or something. It's like a thing I grew up. I'm like, oh, that's television. That's
incredible.
And he said it to Alec Berg and I once, and Alec co-created Barry. He's not a very effusive guy, and he was standing behind me, and Henry told this story where
Does that mean not emotional?
Yeah, he's
I'm not
Swedish.
smart, neither am I.
He's Swedish. He's Swedish,
Okay.
He's like, huh.
Yeah, I've done stand-up. I've done stand-up through the whole that whole region up there. Finland was the funniest one.
Why?
They were just sitting there. They were trying to solve the problem of the joke. Like I would sit there and I'm doing the joke, and it was just quiet and quiet and quiet. And then if somebody's just finally goes, why didn't you just blah, 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 blah? And I was just like, is that what you fucking guys are doing? I go, you don't need to solve these. This isn't like a self-help thing. This is just
Why
absurd.
don't you just kick your wife out of the house?
Yes. Bury her in the backyard and say she went to her mother's.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, so that was Finland, though. But I definitely noticed there was a huge difference. Was it the Baltic Sea?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Norway and Sweden is a certain level of emotionally disconnected. And then when you go to over there, where they're spooning with Russia, and they actually defeated Russia and had to give up part of their land because they paired up with Hitler. I mean, that was
Finland,
they were between the two craziest people last century. It's like
they went to the crazier one, who lost.
Yeah.
Don't ever go to the
I don't know if
crazier
they
one.
went to the crazier one. They were equals. They were peers.
Yeah, they were.
Like if there was a way that they both could have won the war and lived.
Yeah.
I guess the other guy lived, right? Style lived. I don't know shit about history. Like they could sit back like, old
we were
NBA
fine.
players.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when Wilt and Bill Russell get together, they could be talking about murdering people.
Yeah, and their knees are bad. They can't really walk around much.
They're exaggerating their stats.
They're just. But no, it was this. Yeah, no, Alec he's hilarious. I mean, he wrote on Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's a very funny guy, but he's not. He's very kind of quiet. And Henry did the Fonz. He just told a story, and I said, oh, I had to tell all these people, because Henry in life is very kind of, hello, how are you? Oh,
that's what
very
makes
nice.
when you meet him or you see him just talking. That's what makes it even more incredible. It's like that guy came out of this guy.
Yeah, he's like, I was on the phone in my car, hands free. And I'm like, okay, being safe. And then, and then he'll be like, oh, the Fonz would say, hey, part like the Red Sea. He would do something. And Alec was behind me and he went, oh my God. It's the most.
Yeah.
He just went, I can't believe. It was the most effusive I've ever seen Alec. He just went, oh, I can't believe that. It gave us chills,
Well, because it like you said, when you talk to the guy, it's nowhere. It's like Mel Blanc. When Mel Blanc would do voices, like you'd be like, there's no way this guy does Bugs Bunny or he does Yosemite Sam. Like you couldn't hear him in any of it. And I feel like with him, when he's just talking, it's just like, this can't be the guy that played that guy. And all of a sudden he does the voice. This is hilarious. Now I'm going to sit here talking about him being the Fonz for this whole fucking interview. Well,
But I'm
it was
sorry I left you with nothing, though, because I left and then you were stuck with that.
It sounds to me like you blew off the interview, and I'm not buying this whole fucking stabbing yourself. Then somehow you made the premiere. It was a premiere. There was supermodels there.
No, there was no fucking.
You weren't going to the fucking Nerd Melt to talk on some jackass's podcast. I get it.
There was no supermodels at an HBO premiere for Barry. No, it was all like cast and crew.
How about some Hooters chicks? They weren't down there?
Yeah, well, they were working there. No, but they had me. No, there was a thing where it was one of those things where you leave and then HBO's going, oh my god, you know, the thing is, it's his show. You gotta be there. What do we gotta? Can we send a doctor over there? Can we do anything? What can we do? And
they're going old school, sending hookers and eight
balls.
balls.
Yeah. It's like, this is Dr. Feelgood, and you know.
Yeah.
Here's my magic briefcase. All right, you're gonna be up in no time, buddy.
Well, everybody I know that has been watching it has just been like, you know what I love about it, and what I wanted to talk to you about is I love when somebody that's known for doing comedy gets to do some drama stuff, because for some reason they think that I don't know who the comedian was that screwed it up for the rest of us. I want to know who that person was, and also who the person was that fucked up so bad that we all actors now have to get there like 9 hours before you're going to get called. You just sit there with the fake mustache glued on your face. It's just like, who fucked up? Who fucked up? Fatty Arbuckle? Who was it?
Fatty Arbuckle just was always 20 minutes, 30 hours late.
30 hours late, so now they got to bring you in.
We got to get the Arbuckle rule. I want all these assholes here now at 7 a.m.
My worst one ever, I got called. I went to a set at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I didn't utter a word until 1 in the morning.
Oh, I've done that where I got called on I remember Tropic Thunder. There was this huge party scene. And it was just one of those things where I just learned that it's all communication, where Ben Stiller's directing, and Ben, I think he kept saying Rob. My character's name is Rob, but there's also an actor named Rob. And he was like, Rob should be in there, right? You know? And the first AD went, oh, Bill's not working today. So they would wake me up, call me in, call me in. I would go in at 2 a.m. This is out in wherever we were shooting, like Hawaii or something. They'd go in, put me in makeup, and I would just sit in my trailer. And then finally I get tired, you know, kind of like, what am I doing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not in the scene. And so I would go to set, and Ben would go, what the fuck are you doing here? And then 2 days later, hey, we need you to come in. What's going on? And I'm like, well, what are you doing here? And he goes, no, Rob, the actor, Rob, not the fucking, you know. It's like, and I showed up twice. Oh, it was terrible.
You know what's funny? Waiting in those trailers, I actually understood my dog more. Like,
Yeah.
I was just thinking, why does this thing fucking sleep all the time? And it's basically, if you
all
have
surly.
nothing to do, it goes back to survival, where it's like, we're going to shut down your body and just store
Yeah.
up this energy. So, like, the level of tired you get. But
How does my dog know every episode of the Tyra Banks show? Because that seems to be the only thing on television.
or you go to the trailers. I've never had the TV work. It's always like, they got a flat screen TV in here, and it never works. It's just some, like, whatever signal. You just hear the other actor next to you clearing their throat every couple of hours. Yeah.
On the phone with their agent.
I'm not going to do that. They want me to do this. I'm not going to do it.
Well, let's promote it a little bit here, because as far as, like, it's on HBO. Okay, the final episode is this Sunday.
Yeah.
There's 8 of them, and if people want to go back and watch all of them, I imagine in 2018 HBO has a way to
Yeah, I was
stream
thinking,
it.
HBO Go. If you have that, you can go check it out. And
All
I think Amazon, Hulu, those places.
Well, I'm old school in that I like to watch an episode. I like the old way, where you watched it and then you had to wait a week for it to come out, and then another one went and like I don't know, all the shows that I watched, you try to guess what was going to happen, and now, like, there's all these great shows.
They just dump it all on
and people
you.
just sit down. It's like the greatest bottle of wine ever, and you, like, shotgun it. You just, wow, it was amazing. And then, like, what else can I have now? And I also I feel for, like, the amount of work that was put into this, because that's what happens with the fucking cartoon I'm doing, which just I actually did a cartoon because of those getting called at 4 in the afternoon, not working till when. I'm like, dude, fuck this live action shit. I'm going to do a cartoon where I just show up in a baseball hat and sweatpants, and I didn't realize that it was like 90 times slower. And then the thing comes out, and people will watch it all in one night. That's great. When's the next season coming out? It's just like, you can't.
Well, it might as well just be a movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, put it in the theater. I don't know, but I like it that you do this, and then for 8 weeks, people are talking about. There's like the high intensity level of excitement.
Yeah, and you try to guess
like,
where
what
it's
the
going
hell's
to
gonna go. I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun having people come up to me, at my kid's school or whatever, going, "Hey, this is what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And,
Is so-and-so gonna kill you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna kill
One
this
guy came up and he was like, Stephen Root, he's a figment of his imagination, right? He's not real.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
I got you figured out, asshole. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I used to watch Lost. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, it's all figments of some mouse's imagination, right?
Yeah. It's all a figment to get 8 seasons or whatever the hell it is. But anyway, you know something? I actually something I want to bring up before I forget is that that you're from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was telling you earlier that is one of my favorite cities to perform stand-up in. They got the Brady Theater there, which evidently some ridiculous race riot happened.
Really?
I guess so. I mean, I walk in there as a white guy. I'm like, oh, this has a nice vibe. This feels like really great.
Why is this so comfortable?
Yeah, and it's and then they got all this great food because all these people who'd never been there. When I told them I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and everybody's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! What are you gonna fucking go ride a bull out there?" Like,
go cow tipping.
Yeah, and they don't understand like how like the food there is incredible.
Yeah,
massive amounts of hipsters. It's the exact opposite thing that you would picture. But that old theater there.
Yeah, I saw George Carlin there once. I remember that was the first comedy show I ever saw. Like
what year did you see him?
I don't remember. I was young. I remember my dad. It was a thing where I had to get snuck into the thing. But my dad, God, I don't remember. It had to be in the 80s sometime.
I saw him in the 80s too.
Yeah, and I remember seeing him and just my face hurting from laughing and just that and not knowing that he did like 2 hours or I don't know what it was. It was just super long. But to me, I was like, oh, keep going, and just leaving on this high and just going, wow, that was unreal.
Did that have an effect that you like at that point? Did you already know you wanted to get into comedy or?
No, I mean, to me that just seemed like I mean, I was someone I still have, I'm very anxious having to get up in front of people, and so the idea of going up there alone and telling jokes and how quick he was, but I loved watching stand up. My dad's a giant fan of stand up, and so. And in the 80s, and that, every TV, you had the A&E, even at the Improv, the MTV half-hour comedy hour.
I watched all of those 100 times.
I would watch those. I saw those. I mean, I would run into like Jeff Garland and be like, "Do you remember you used to do the thing with Adam West? Adam West ordering a bagel, and he gets hit with a
half-hour comedy hour, MTV."
Yeah, and he went, "What? How did you know?" And then when I met Judd Apatow for the first time, I go, "You used to do a bit about your nose, being stuffed up and how it switches, you get congested in one nostril and goes in a nostril." And I remember that. Yeah. But
that can freak people out. I remember, I forget the name of the comedian, but he had this great bit. He was talking about, I ran into the guy, I don't even remember his name, but it was one of my favorite bits that I saw from one of those evenings at the Improvs, and he was talking about how he was the youngest kid in this big family and how strict the parents were with the older kids. And by the time it got down to him, it was, it was basically the only rule was no heroin in the living room. And then one of my favorite tags of all time, it was just like, "Brian, you're not using one of the good spoons." And that was just like, for a clean joke and all that. I really loved it. I got to actually run into him and tell him. And I remember just talking to that guy and him just looking at me like, how the fuck does this kid?
Oh my God! Remember Bob Nelson? That guy. There was a guy, Bob Nelson, would do all crazy. And then
I saw him open for Rodney Dangerfield.
Really?
Right after Back to School came out, dude. That summer at Great Woods.
Yeah.
In Mansfield, Massachusetts, I saw Rodney Dangerfield, and then a few weeks later, I saw Eddie Murphy on the Raw tour.
Whoa!
And the Weather Girls opened
insane.
up. Weather Girls opened up. They sing "It's Raining Men."
Yeah.
And they were big girls. And I remember he came out and was doing all these jokes about, I got to check out the stage because the Weather Girls could fuck up the stage. Back when you could fat shame people. And He had like the purple suit on and all of that stuff.
Did he always close with his dad eating Tinker Toys and the food the toy thing? Remember that?
I don't remember what he closed. I mean,
Eddie, we would eat our Tinker Toys, Eddie. That whole thing that he would do is because that was a thing seeing Raw, which now you watch Raw and you're like, geez, there's some stuff you can do now on that show.
Yeah,
but that's
not fair to him.
I know, but
like
it's just
30
like
years
it was
ago.
30 years ago. But you go like. At SNL, you would watch something. Oh, you guys got to watch Raw, and then they would come back and go, "Why did you find that funny? It was so offensive and everything." I go, "Wow, oh man, what about the thing at the end? I would just try to concentrate on the thing I found.
Oh no,
really
when
funny,
I watched that thing, it makes me sad that he stopped because he was 25 years old, and when he was talking about the level of success he got to and thinking about getting married and seeing Johnny Carson getting divorced and all of that stuff and saying, women get half, that's bullshit. Women get half, and that woman goes, that's right. And he goes, nah, that's bullshit. And it was like he was going to that next level where it's like, oh, now this guy is going to, start saying what he thinks about all this stuff. Because, the Delirious was amazing.
Yeah.
But it was, Ralph Cramden having sex with,
Gooly Goo Goo and all that.
And all that stuff. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he was like, you're seeing this guy finding his voice, and then I mean, who knew that I would go see him, and that was actually like the farewell tour.
Yeah, well, I think when he did that, the thing at the end of Raw was the thing I saw, when I was young, and it went, wow, he's just by himself. He might as well be by himself in his room. You know what I mean? It was like he went into this other place. It wasn't like jokes, what I mean? It was like
he's talking.
He's just talking, and he just went to this place, and it's the thing. Like, I'm never as funny. The funniest I'll ever be is in the lunchroom with my friends, and they were all funnier than me. You know what I mean?
Oh, everybody went to high school was funnier than I was.
Way funnier than me, and I'll see those guys, and they'll send me a text about. One of my friends hated 3 Billboards, that movie, and his text made me laugh harder than anything that I've read, any comedian I know. All I do is hang around with comedy people, and I'm like, what? He works at a window store in Oklahoma someplace, but he's so funny.
Or just how they live their life. I got a buddy of mine, Joe DeRosa, was opening for me, and, it was after the show we did in Boston. I got all my Boston friends, hanging out or whatever, and one of my buddies offered to buy a round of drinks. We're all ordering drinks. And my buddy Joe ordered a White Russian. And my friend was just done with him. And he came up to me, he goes, dude, what's up with your boy? I go, what's the matter? He goes, he just ordered a White Russian. And I didn't really think about it. I was like, he drinks White Russians. He likes, whatever that movie with the dude. He likes
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he's a Big Lebowski. I didn't think of anything about it. And then at the end of the night, I'm walking back with Joe, and he's just like, like hanging out with friends. He goes, yeah, that's cool. He's like, dude, one of your friends he was like really friendly, and he was like talking to me. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just stopped talking to me. And it was just like, and it was all based on the fact that he ordered a White Russian. And we were well into our 30s, like late 30s, and this guy still, to this day, and I remember a long time ago.
I just don't trust that guy. I don't know anybody like that.
Well, I remember a long time ago, he, for some reason, was giving the responsibility to watch the house of this married couple. And, of course, so he immediately has us all over there. And we're getting hammered. And he's taking care of the house. He went down into the basement. And there was some sort of faucet nozzle or something you had to turn on or off. And the lady left a Post-it note on it saying, you might have to turn it a little harder. My husband said it's a little fussy. And my buddy just went up and just immediately turned it with no problem at all. And he just mutters, this guy's a pussy. And we're in his house. And he just said that to his wife, just being, gentlemanly, to a woman. And then my friend just totally judged this guy that he was not a man. Like his man, like that's what I love about my friends back there. How easily you can lose your man card and you have no idea. And they won't even tell you why. They just stop talking to you.
Oh, it's the worst. When my friends, they visited the set of Barry, and I'm doing all these things or whatever, and I have an assistant.
Uh-huh. Oh. It's over.
She walked over. Here's your coffee. What, man? You can't get your own coffees now? What?
What do you think?
The machine's right there, dude. just go over and get your own goddamn coffee, Bill. And I'm like, well, I'm focusing on, I don't give a shit. You go over, why are you making her get your, and I'm like, no, you're right. I should be, the machine's right there. I don't know. You're right. You know what I mean? I just feel like an asshole. And then I'm like, why did I invite you here to, make me feel bad? And then, hey man, did you try the dessert? I'm trying not to eat anything bad because, the guys in the military are like, oh, fuck you, man.
Oh, yeah. No.
Just like, oh, you're dieting now? And I'm like, they just keep you real.
I just go back harder at them.
I can't say
Well,
anything.
I'm really trying to work on my man tits like you have. And that's the only way to keep them off you. Dude, I had another friend, the exact same party. He was telling this story. He's going, where are you staying? I told him the hotel I was staying at, and he was a construction guy. He goes, oh, I worked on that. He goes, crazy story. We were putting a flagpole or something up. And he goes, the fucking cable broke. This guy was underneath directing. The cable broke and just came slamming down on this guy.
Oh, jeez.
And I go, Jesus Christ. I go, did he die? And he goes, did he die? He was in fucking pieces. And I go, well, what happened? He goes, oh, guys were puking. Some people jumped in their truck and drove away. And they go, oh, his dad was there. He had a heart attack. So we're all just sitting there like dead silence. And then he just out of nowhere, he goes, kid was kind of a douche. And then he goes, his dad was a good shit. And that actually broke the tension and everybody started laughing. And I just remember thinking, like, you couldn't teach somebody
No.
in an acting class how to take somebody to such a dark place.
Yeah.
And he sensed it.
No,
He sensed that a laugh needed to come and he knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, he had intuition. As my friend, I used to be a PA. I was a production assistant for a long time, and I worked on this movie, James Dean, and An Invented Life. James Franco played James Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, Jason Altieri, who's now a big first AD now, but he was a PA. And again, what we're talking about, he had a real, like, Rambo knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got it from the props truck, and he's just taking chunks out of this tree with it. And he's just hitting this tree with this giant knife.
Okay.
And we're all kind of sitting there while, and he's just bullshitting with us. But he's like, "Look at this fucking thing! Wow, look, it's like an axe,
Tree standing there
Tree
like,
standing there, ow. And this other guy, Bill Hardy, this big guy walking over, and he's another PA smoking, saying, "Hey guys," and Jason, he's weird. This kid, he pretends like he's gonna stab him. He just goes, "Hey," and he goes, "Hey, don't fuck it. That's not funny. Don't do that. You know, don't do that. That's not cool. Don't do that." Jason goes, So Bill walks away. The props guy comes over and goes, I have that same knife, but it's the exact same knife, but it's retractable. It's plastic. It's fake. And he goes, get it to me. So he takes it, and he does the best piece of acting I've ever seen. Just totally calm, pretending to, cut at the tree, do everything, just waiting for Bill to come back. Bill walks back. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? And he does the thing again. Bill, and then he just rears back and stabs him in the chest.
Oh, God.
And Bill goes, why?
Oh, no.
He just screamed. His reaction was, why? Like, you just murdered me.
His whole life flashed.
He legitimately was like, my friend just murdered me. and we fell down laughing. We felt bad, and I've told that story to other people, and I go, that's horrible. That's not nice at all. And I go, I know, but if you were there, it was the funniest thing I think I'd ever seen. And
because you literally got to see what would your friend do if
what would
he
he
died?
do if he died? He would say, why?
If he got murdered.
But then Jason, to your point, the reason I thought of it was that he was such a good actor. He was just like, you couldn't have taught, like anybody else, I think you would have got it, and they would want to run over to him and go, hey, look in the knife. And then, you know what I mean?
That's what I would have taken the knife and walked up to him.
And done it.
But he had the patience.
He had the patience to keep, like, no, I have to keep this lie up where he was pretending to do that. And we sat there waiting for him for like 15 minutes. And then he kind of would meander back, like, no, we can't call him over. We can't do this. You know?
I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I'm the worst. Hey, when you watch somebody do something like that, as an actor, do you get something out of that, watching a guy like that?
Yeah. You kind of go, oh, wow, that patience, or so much of it too is just kind of impersonating people, or or doing nothing. That was the thing he did that was good, was he didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? He just was doing what he did before, and he kind of instinctively knew, like, well, that's the best way to do this.
That's the best way to set the trap, is to make it look like nothing.
Nothing happened. instead of I would have gone over there or been, hey, Bill, come back or whatever.
Are those some of
didn't do
your,
nothing.
your favorite actors? Are you a character actor guy as far as like the guys that you watch? Because your acting on this series is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
I kept calling my wife in, going, look, this is like the best. I'm telling you, dude, it's like the best work I've seen, and I love all the stuff that you've done.
Oh, thank
but
you.
like this, to actually, I love it when they give a funny guy a chance to show that, hey, I can do these other things too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just curious. Now that I see that you have that in the toolbox, like who are some of your favorite actors?
Well, I mean, I had a tape that, this is kind of everybody, but I had a VHS tape that had Taxi Driver and Raging Bull on it, and I would just watch those a bunch and just watch Robert De Niro in those movies. He just does, it's kind of what we're talking about. He doesn't do much, but he did enough, you know? It was like it was behavior. But to be honest, like, I like a lot, you know, I like a lot of actors, but I was always more excited by the story. I would watch a movie for story, but to me, it's more about observing behavior of people. You know, you watch like a documentary, or I'd watch a guy like Jason Altieri do that thing or whatever, but it was the actors who could modulate behavior instead of pushing and making it like a performance, you know?
Right.
There's a movie called Kess. It's this British movie from the late 60s, and there's this non-actor, this kid in it, who's phenomenal, and it just is because it's all just very genuine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, it's time for a little bit of advertising. Oh, look who's back. It's old Zip Recruiter. Talk about the challenges of finding great talent and how the way you went about it just did not work or was inefficient. You know, I tried to dig down deep into myself to try to be a good comedian, and it turned out all I had was a bunch of shit and dick jokes down there, and it was really tough. And then I used ZipRecruiter, and all of a sudden, you know, I started talking about pussy too. And my comedy went to, I don't fucking hire people, but I know this app, is this an app? This product? This service. Let's go with that. I know it works. ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. These invitations have revolutionized how you find your next hire. In fact, 80% of employees who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. And Zip doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive so you never miss a great match. The right candidates are out there. Zip Recruiter is how you find them. Businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. Right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter. That's right. They can use it for free. You can try it for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. One more time. Hi! Zip! The smartest way to hire. Look who's here. Do me undies. I'm sitting in my fucking car. Me undies. I'm driving out to a bar. I'm gonna get hammered at the bar. Take a piss in my soft underwear. My balls will feel great, and undies will dry it up. You don't need no more adult diapers. MeUndies are made with a sustainably sourced material from beechwood trees. They're made out of trees, man. Their naturally soft fiber makes a fabric that won't sag down or ride up. Trust me, once you got a pair on, you'll get it. And if you're already part of the MeUndies family, tell your friends about it through their referral program. It's like Amway, but with fucking panties. They get a discount and you'll get a store credit. It's a win-win. MeUndies is sure you'll love their first pair. Is so sure you'll love their first pair that if you're not happy, they'll do whatever they can to get you the right pair. And if they can't, keep them and they'll refund you. So it's really risk-free. Free to try the best underwear ever. Still not sure? Well, MeUndies has a deal for my listeners. First-time purchasers get 20% off their first pair of MeUndies and free shipping. Get your ass over to MeUndies.com and treat yourself to get 20% off your first pair and free shipping and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to MeUndies.com/Burr. That's MeUndies.com/Burr. Unbelievable how hot your car gets the second you shut it off and keep the windows and doors shut. Oh, look who's here. Honey! When you shop online, do you suddenly turn into a tab hoarder, loading dozens and dozens of new tabs on your browser in search of a promo code? Just one that works. Afraid to close any of them in fear of missing out on a deal? Before you crash your browser yet again, try Honey! Honey is the free browser add-on that over 9 million people are using every day to save money while they shop online. In 2 clicks, add Honey to any browser for free, then shop like you normally do. Honey scans and tests millions of coupons in the background, and check out Honey automatically applies the best coupon. Honey never means honey. It never does. Time magazine calls Honey basically free money. Over 9 million people have used Honey every day. And together, they've saved millions of dollars. There's no reason not to add Honey to your browser today. I'm running out of ways to say it. It's free. Just takes 2 clicks to install and will save you tons of money. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/Burr. That's 2 words. Join Honey. .com/Burr to start saving with Honey today. That's joinhoney.com/Burr. All right, there's people next door working on the house. They think I'm fucking crazy. All right, Helix, everybody. Helix? There's nobody on the planet like you, so why would you buy a fucking mattress built for everyone else? Next, please mention all the talking points below. Well, I'm gonna. You wrote it. I'm gonna read it. Working with the world's leading sleep experts, Helix Sleep developed a mattress that's customized to your specific height, weight, and sleep preferences so you can get the best goddamn sleep of your life at an unbelievable price. Here's how it works. Go to helixsleep.com. Fill out their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll design your custom mattress. They can even customize each side for you and your partner. In 2018, Helix Sleep has taken customized sleep to the next level with their Helix Pillow. The all-new pillows are fully adjustable so you can achieve perfect comfort regardless of sleep position or body type. Do you want to kill your wife? They got a pillow for that too. Helix Sleep has that's just a joke. Helix Sleep does not condone any fucking violence towards you. Helix Sleep has thousands of 5-star reviews. Plus you get 100 nights to try them out. Tell them which hand you jerk off with. They'll have a little elbow indentation on that side of the mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/Burr right now and you'll get up to $125 towards your new fucking mattress. That's helixsleep.com/Burr for up to $125 off your mattress. helixsleep.com/Burr. HELIX. Sleep. Actors, when they'll, well, I'm playing a new guy, so the guy can't walk like me. And they'll come up with like a walk.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was DeRosa to bring him up again. He was talking about John Travolta one time. He saw him, and John Travolta was like, well, Vinnie Barbarino walked like this, Vincent Vega walked like this. And it's just like, dude, he does the walks. Yeah. And I was thinking of the little acting that I've done. It's like every character I've done walks like me. They always have to rewrite it. He's a serial killer from Boston. He's a Hawaiian guy from Boston. Yeah.
He's a cowboy from Boston.
Yeah. I did one where they couldn't justify why I wasn't from the Midwest, so they said he went to college in Boston and he picked up the accent. But for some reason he came back here and he didn't go back to the accent that he used for 18 years.
He was raised by some assholes from Boston. But in the Midwest.
He watches a lot of reality TV, and there's always the loud Boston guy. So
he likes watching interviews with Mark Wahlberg and yeah. No,
but he doesn't have an accent in
Mark Wahlberg. No,
yeah,
no,
like I'm always amazed at how
you forget that he can knock that out somehow.
Yeah, and I've watched some, like I started out with Patrice O'Neill and Dane Cook, and I saw like an old Dane Cook stand-up thing in the last couple of years. I saw it, and in like the mid '90s, he had a really big time Boston accent.
Oh, really?
And now he doesn't.
Oh, wow.
Like I don't know how. I think you're either one of those people like you just sort of like if you get somewhere new, you just sort of it just floats away, or it's just stuck in you. I think I'm sort of. I mean, I don't have like a severe
work
one.
on it. Or people work
That's
on it to
what
get
it
rid
is.
of it. People do work on it to get rid of it. And it's weird.
We have Bill Hader here from Barry.
It's like, I'm going to pronunciate. Hi, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
No, I think that it's a weird thing but I don't know. Yeah, it's like
I saw this cooking show recently, and this guy, he was doing something, this fucking guy's traveling, and he goes, Boston, you come here for a beer and a beating. And I was looking at my wife. I go, oh, you go to look at the foliage. It's just like, how many times did you watch Good Will Hunting before you went there to steam your asparagus that you felt you had to go that hard? You know, it's like there's also MIT, there's Harvard, tasty pudding or hasty pudding. There's a lot of like, you know, you could go get some oysters, beer and a beating. It's like, all right. I lived there for 27 years. I never took a beating. I walked away from fights and I was fine with it. Hey, you're tougher than me. Your dad was angrier than my dad. You win. I'm out of here.
Steam your asparagus.
Yeah, with your little poached egg on top of it. I fucking hate the Food Network now. They used to just have people there cooking, and they teach you how to cook, and then it became you had to have a personality. And you know, I respect his cooking, but I blame that fucking Emerald Lagasse. He's the guy. I'm gonna fucking put some sugar, bam.
Yeah, right.
And he had a studio audience and a band.
I used to be the assistant editor on a lot of those shows, on like Iron Chef America. I was the assistant
I don't get
editor
that
on
fucking show.
I used
Cooking
to-
is supposed to be a relaxing,
I
loving
know.
thing that you do, and they take it's like
sudden death.
you got to make waffles. We got stones and and carpet. How the fuck am I going to do this? And
How the fuck am I? Mario, let's see what you got. And like, we used to have a thing of Bobby Flay like electrocuting himself. He accidentally electrocuted himself. It was really funny.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, they cut it from the thing, but he grabbed a ladle and something happened, and he just went and just dropped out of frame.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But we had a thing of him.
Did his heart stop?
I don't know, but he dropped and then kind of came up in a daze, and we were.
He always seemed like he had indigestion to me. Because he would always be like, okay, today we're going to make... It's just like, dude, go off camera and burp. Because I liked him. I like all of those guys. They all taught me what little I know. But like I used to watch Molto Mario all the time, which to me was the perfect one. It's like you went over his house and he cooked for you.
Yeah, it was like being his friend.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just became like that fucking guy yelling on Iron Chef.
Yeah.
Or the Diners, Drive-In, and Dives guy.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because, like, he just looks so burnt out on that show.
Oh, yeah, what's his name? Guy
Fieri. He just says what you're doing. Like, you can make, like, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay, so you're putting some peanut butter in the bread. And, okay, and you get some jam in there that's going to take a little edge off the peanut butter.
And he makes so much money.
God bless him.
That guy makes so much money. Oh, my God.
He needs to get the hard top because he's going to die of skin cancer. The guy looks like a fucking lobster. This is coming from a redhead. I'm telling you. He's got to get some sunblock. So what can we talk about the everybody, because this is a podcast. It's not like people are dipping in here.
Yeah.
People know that the show is on. So they can, HBO, is there HBOstreaming.net org?
Yeah, I mean, you go to like, Amazon or Hulu or HBO Go is the thing.
HBO Go, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's great.
What
That's
would
how
be
a lot
best
of
for
people
you?
watch it.
Where should they watch it?
Whatever they want. I don't care.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
don't care. But
Because I remember when
mean,
Louis had his show on FX, it would be like, can you please watch it so I get credit for people like watching the advertising? Because everybody would then, they would record it and then fast forward it. I don't know.
I know. Yeah, to me, it's just, just watch. I hope you watch the show. HBO has been amazing to work with. The fact that we could go in and pitch this show to them, and we're pitching a half-hour comedy, and the two movies I mentioned are Taxi Driver and Unforgiven. And that's
now how do they react to, like, you coming in and think, okay, it's Bill Hader, this is going to be funny.
Exactly.
And
they
then
thought
you
it was
come
going. Yeah, we come in with this, and they go. And to their credit, they were really excited about it. It actually made them more excited.
How many places did you pitch this show?
It was just HBO because I had a deal with them, and so I had this kind of development deal with them, and I was shooting Trainwreck actually, and the whole time I was on Trainwreck going, what am I gonna do? I have this deal now with HBO, but I got to write a show. And so I met with Alec Berg, and then we came up with this. And then I remember pitching it to them and thinking, well, if they don't like it, they don't like it. But this is what I would rather want to do. If I could do anything, it'd be this. And the fact that they were the ones going, I said, the violence has to be very real. It's not funny. The violence is not funny at all. When he fights people, I like it to feel real. I don't want it to be cool, And they
or absurd.
Yeah, like Weekend at Bernie's jokes. You know what I mean?
Right.
which you could easily do in this. There's a lot of times where there's a scene in episode 3 where I have to strangle a guy, and there's in his backyard there's all these kid toys and stuff, and I remember Alec Berg and I were shooting that scene, and I said, any other place they would be like, hey, can we make it funny? Can you kill him with the kid's jump rope? Or, can we get some jokes in there? Or, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, it's not.
I feel like the murder is going to be too depressing.
Yeah. So
it's like it should be.
No, but he should kill him. He should still kill him, but just funny, and you're like, no. But we can't do that.
I've said this before in the podcast. That's why I could never really watch. I watched Dexter because I liked the performances, but I couldn't fully commit to it because I could just hear the industry note. Whereas
really?
like they went, he's a serial killer. And it's just like, well, how can we root for that? And it's just like, all right, he just kills the bad people. He's the serial killer with a good heart. And then I just never was able.
Well, that's the hard thing. That's been the nice thing with Barry, at least, is HBO, when we would turn in the drafts, when we get to later in the season, especially, it starts to get, Barry definitely is not just killing the good people, bad people. He's killing people,
I gotta go home and I gotta see
it gets terrible, and where he ends up going is pretty rough. But that was always just being honest to that guy, you know what I mean? And that's the thing that HBO has been great about, is that we'll say, hey, is this too much? And they go, well, what else is he gonna do? They see it from the character standpoint. They're like, well, what's his choice?
Well, I saw the 2 episodes, and I actually felt for the guy as far as like how he became. That's another thing. Like he's just not like, he just was born a psycho. It's like, no, this guy went to Afghanistan. I can say this without Afghanistan, did what he did over there, and then got into this line of work where he's a hitman. Yeah, and he basically wants to get out of it, and just Henry Winkler's characters with like the acting class. I mean, I took a bunch of acting classes. I had a lot of great.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I had I had some great acting teachers, and I had, but there was some, when they became like the guru, and I can't remember this woman's name, and I only audited her class. I audited 2 classes. I remember one class I audited. It turned out it was Scientology.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was hilarious. I went in there. This actor who was in Scientology goes, oh, you need an acting class? And she sent me there. And it was acting class, but it was also like Scientology, so which I felt like she should have said.
Right, that should have been, it's acting, but there's a little extra thing.
So I go there. And I remember we were sitting there. And the guy teaching the class goes, does anybody have any news they want to share with the class? And someone would raise their hand and be like, oh, I just booked a 3-episode arc on Who Gives a Fuck on ABC. And then the whole audience, like ridiculously loud, would go, whoa, whoa, like this positive. And but it was crazy
very
hot,
cultish.
And I was sitting there like, what the fuck, right? So like 5 people did that, and then they go, hey, we have 2 people auditing the class. This guy, he's just fresh here from New York. He's an actor. He's trying to get some parts. Blah 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 blah. Please welcome Bill Burr. And they clapped like I won a Lifetime Achievement Award. I remember my face turned red. I was embarrassed. So, and then I saw the scenes, and the actors were good and everything. And then during the break, like I remember the teacher was looking at me and goes, was that too much? Was that too much?
Did I push? Was I pushing? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So then I went in, and I sat down with them, and they just kept saying everything was their own. We have our own parking. We have our own security. We have our own this. And I swear to God, I said, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm joining a cult. Like I was trying to make a joke. And he kind of looked at me, and his eyes were like going from my right eye to my left eye. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I got out of there. And then I went down to this I swear to God, this is true. I went down to the comedy club, and I said, yeah, I took this acting class. The actors were really good, but it was just this fucking weird vibe. And then I told him like the name of the acting class. This guy goes, dude, that's fucking Scientology. And I don't know. I kind of felt like, the next time I saw that person, I had that vibe like they put something in my drink.
Right.
Like you should have said, listen, guys, here's the thing. Like I don't judge. Like I hate when people act like, oh my God, those people are out of their fucking minds. It's like
Right.
my religion is out of their fucking minds. It's just they got enough people where they can act cool now and they don't care if you leave. Like Scientology needs people.
Yeah.
So they got to, they got to lock you in a room or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that
but
they
you need
do,
to
right?
say this is where you're going. You need to say, like, by the way, you're going to a church.
I like how they have their own network now to combat, because
yeah.
that one woman did like the
Lena Remney or whatever.
Yeah,
her
she
thing.
did all those episodes about how like crazy that was. But I always feel like there's another actor that could do the one about the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they could
about
do about
them,
anything.
yeah, banging kids. And they made it seem like it was okay, and that was the thing, and you bought into it. We're getting off track here.
No, man, it's great.
What I'm trying to do is I just don't want to fucking sit here and ask you about SNL and all of that shit that I know you've answered a zillion
that's all
times.
right. No, I'm loving this. No, that's every thing I go to is like, so where's Stefan from or whatever, So
How did you come up with that?
How did you come up with? So, tell
I will
us.
tell you, my favorite thing I ever saw you do was laughing uncontrollably. Well, it was the locker room thing.
Oh, Forte
yeah,
started
Will
dancing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Paul
God.
Verzi told me about that. You literally have the towel.
I have a towel wrapped around my face.
Over your face.
Because you know why? Because Forte did this dance, and he did it at the table read on Wednesday, and I just said, I can't. There's no way I'm going to be able to make it through that. That's too funny. Because he's a coach trying to get us all riled up to go back into the second half of the game. And to get us riled up, he does this Herb Albert song. And he does this dance, and then so I go. So before we went on air, I go, hey Will, can you just do it for me a couple of times, just in my dressing room? Can you just do it so I can like laugh and get it out?
That's great. You're such a pro.
Could I just get it out? So he did it, but then on air he added a move.
Of course he did.
Just to fuck with me. He added this thing where he went like that, like he couldn't hear me, and I lost it. I just completely lost it. And I started going, and then I remember Sudeikis was next to me and went, oh, no. Because I started going, and then Kenan Thompson started going. Because we just...
Peyton Manning pretty much...
Peyton Manning lost it. Peyton Manning
I thought he kept a straight face.
Oh, no. He kind of... He starts to put a towel around his face.
He did.
He gets... Because But I completely lost it. Because it also was just... It was such a Forte thing. Forte just... He's not like... he's one of those guys, hey man, just very cool, chill guy. And then he would do these ideas or something would happen to him and you go, where is that from?
Yeah, he's incredible.
He would make me laugh.
That whole period, all of those, like you were, and you're one of those guys. Like that was
thank you.
That was like Murderer's Row.
He pitched. He goes, Bill, I'm going out with a movie. And I go, oh, what's the movie you're doing? He goes, I want to do a movie about two brothers who switch bodies. And I go, yeah. And he goes, here's the thing. They're identical twins. So it doesn't matter. And I go, okay. And I go, how do people know that they switch bodies? He goes, well, that's the joke, because everyone acts like, well, you're acting differently. That's not like you, but they're just acting. They're these two boring guys. And he could somehow,
that guy's so talented, he would somehow sustain that for 90 minutes.
He figure that out. And I was like, he told me that, and I laughed. I just went, where the hell did you come up with that? And you no, I'm going to write this movie about these two guys. So, yeah, he's just a genius. And a great guy, too. But, yeah, I felt very lucky when I was there with all those people, Kristen and Andy and Fred Armisen and all those guys. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, and you guys have all gone on to do stuff. So right now, are you when do you start back up with the next season, or do you get the
writing it right now? We're writing season 2 right now.
Oh, God. Did you get how much of a break did you get?
We got a bit of a break. Yeah, I mean, we finished all this in August. So
okay.
Barry was done in August. So
okay.
Then it starts airing, and then, we open up a writer's room, and then, HBO told us, yeah, you guys can we do more.
And it's going to be another 8?
Mm-hmm. As of right now, who knows? We might change that. But as of right now, it's 8. I kind of like that. I like being able to craft 8 episodes and kind of make it a very, kind of a tight season, and with a good story.
Yeah, it's like back in the day when there was a great album. A lot of times it was 8 songs.
Yeah.
But then when the 10th song came out, it's like, all right, here's the fucking ballad. You're just trying to fill it. I get it.
But it's the same thing with TV in a way where you go, oh, now we're going to watch an episode that's all about, the gardener or something. And you go, I don't care about this, I want to know
There's
what
a
the
lot
hell's
of
going on. I want to know what else is
I know.
going
I'm too
on.
jaded that I don't consider that groundbreaking. I'm just like, yeah, you guys wanted an episode off. I think the series regulars are bitching about their contract.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our guy, but we got to keep the train moving. Let's
all right, so let's do something about that guy.
That guy, yeah. Guess what? You're starring in the show this week.
Guess what, asshole?
Yeah. You're carrying the show. And if it goes down, you never play a gardener in this town again, you piece of shit. Well, anyways, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh man, this was. I feel like this. Oh, my head hurts. I'm laughing so much.
Good.
But no, it's great.
That's all my interviews want to be.
Oh, good.
I don't want anybody to learn anything about you. I just want to give you a break from the same fucking 20 questions. But I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you, buddy. That means a lot.
You've
that you
already
like
done so much brilliant work, and the fact that HBO. Shout out to them for being so cool to let a comedic actor. I don't know how to define what it is. A sketch. I don't know how. I just know comedian. What do you?
I don't know.
Label you as?
I don't know, like sketch actor.
Okay,
yeah,
the
comedy,
fact that you come
yeah.
out of SNL and they let you do something like that is
yeah, and to
awesome.
write it and direct. I never directed before, and they let me direct stuff. And I mean, I directed the first 3 episodes and to write and all that. And so, yeah, just to be able to have so much faith and.
I mean, look, Eddie, going back to Eddie Murphy, 48 Hours. That is the acting that he does in that. He's so goddamn funny, but when it has to be real, he's incredible. Great. And then what was the one he got nominated for the
Dreamgirls?
Dreamgirls, yeah. For the life of me, I don't understand why he doesn't get more stuff.
No,
like that.
I will say that but that 48 Hours scene when he goes into the redneck bar and he, the cowboy is one of the few scenes in movie history where you're like, that's a movie star has just been born.
Yeah.
Where with one scene, it's very rare where you can go, like John Wayne in Stagecoach. They always say they push in on him. His first shot in Stagecoach, and everybody went, "Wow,
who the
who's
hell's
that
guy?"
Yeah. But Eddie Murphy in that scene, I remember I didn't see it, but my dad seen that movie and coming back and going, there's this guy in the movies, the new guy in SNL. It is like one of the funniest things. He's phenomenal. You got to see,
Yeah. You know what else about that
amazing.
movie is? That is the best gun sounds.
Oh yeah, Walter Hill's movies always have like this cannon.
Unbelievable.
Sounds. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And you know something? I actually got to do an acting gig where I played. I'm so bad with the name. Jason. He played Mike on Breaking Bad.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Jason. He's great. And
I got to talk to him about being on 48 Hours.
Wow.
He's like, God damn it, Jack, don't you do it. Don't you do it. He goes, he gives him the gun. And then he also got thrown over the buffet table in Beverly Hills Cop.
And he has one of my favorite lines in Airplane.
Oh, he was in Airplane?
Yeah, he goes, the guy just went from 500,000 feet to 20,000 feet. What an asshole. He's the guy in the radar watching like... Yeah, this guy.
I gotta see that again.
Yeah, they cut away to him. He's like, he just went from 25,000 feet to 7,000 feet. What an asshole!
I remember that line.
Yeah,
I just didn't remember that it was him.
Yeah, he's also the guy. They go, "How we doing?" And he opens up like a turkey, and then he's like, "Oh, we're almost done. We're almost finished here, sir." And it's like so just dumb, but he's great. I mean, that's one of the best. Yeah, that's the best movies. But yeah, no, the gun sounds in 48 Hours. All those Walter Hill movies, he always had like a really cool sound design in his movies. He's great.
Yeah, the whole thing. I actually one time, this is like the epilogue of the podcast. At this point, I was on the subway, and the actor that played Luther. Was, the guy from Warriors. He was sitting like right across from me. He looked great. I mean, it's like maybe 20 years ago I saw him.
Wow.
And one of my just the way he delivered that line when Nick Nolte's beating him up with the door, and he goes, says something like, "Well, I think you're lying," and the line is, "Yeah, well, who gives a fuck what you think?" And he doesn't yell to the word "fuck." He just goes, "Yeah, well, who gives a fuck what you think?" Like, why would you yell at fuck? Who gives a fuck what you think? Or who gives a fuck what you think? The way he did that, that was like a catchphrase in my family.
Yeah, who gives a fuck what you... Yeah, he has such weird rhythms, that guy. All the Warriors, too. I mean, like, he's such he has such cool way of speaking. You're like, yeah.
Well, you can learn a lot from that guy, and people are going to learn a lot from you
thanks,
watching
man.
this Sunday's episode, or go on HBO Go to check it out. Barry, starring Bill Hader.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, buddy.